you guys, I'm Trey Vittetoe. I'm a music producer. I live in Los Angeles, California in the San Fernando Valley. Some of my big credits include Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez. Some of the record labels I've worked for over the years are Warner Brothers Records, Hollywood Records, Mercury. I've worked for numerous independent record labels. So there are a lot of YouTube channels with guys like myself talking about music and music production. Question is, what makes me different? What am I doing differently here that would make you want to tune into my channel and listen? This is the way I look at it. Many of the guys that I love to watch their channels, producers, mixers, engineers. These guys are super informative, some of them. And I'll probably talk about some of them on my channel from time to time. But a lot of them, their heyday is 20 or 30 years ago, and they have great knowledge from that era. That's not me. I'm really focused on today's market. My purpose is to create music for audiences that are out there now. My demographic that I work toward is 16 to 25 years old, sometimes into the 30s. But what will also separate my channel from other music production-based YouTube channels is that I actually worked inside the music business for over a decade while I was building this creative part of my career on the side. Specifically, I worked in the publishing side of the music industry. Publishing, if you're not aware, creates direct lines to record labels, television and film production companies, essentially anybody that is looking for songs. Music publishing is a fascinating business, but it's one of the least understood components of the music industry, even by the artists and songwriters that are currently making truckloads of money from it. The music publishing business is filled both with people that are super talented, they understand the power of the song and they know how to exploit it, as well as those soulless, grabbing hands, cutthroat kind of people, the ones that you just hear about all too often. I was at Universal Music. I worked at one of their boutique companies, ran the production department. I worked directly with the songwriters, handling their incoming songs. I ran the studio, handled billing, hiring of engineers and musicians, consulted with the A&R staff when it came to song pitches for film, television, or artists. I sat in the creative meetings every week where we would discuss what artists and songwriters we were looking at signing. We discussed the song pitches that were maybe with labels. Labels were looking for specific songs for artists. Talk about what we needed, which of our songs, which of our writers might work well for those label projects. We discussed pitches associated with licensing, maybe advertising agencies that were looking for specific songs and commercials, or film and television. What was needed? What were they looking for? What had been recently placed? I worked in that business from the 90s, from the late 90s when cash and opportunity seemed to have an endless flow, and record labels were falling over each other with huge wads of cash trying to sign the next big thing. Into the 2000s, where the bottom dropped out economically and the whole music industry business model was completely decimated. During that time, we went to work every day under the dark cloud of constant mass firings, not just individuals, but you could show up at work one day and you would learn that a whole department or even sometimes a whole company had been let go. I mean, none of us knew if it was going to be our neck that was next on the chopping block. And you know, for me, I was lucky. I busted my tail and I kept moving. And it was around 2008 that, you know, my production career finally took off. And wow, it was like things couldn't have been better. So in a nutshell, I expect to take my time on this channel discussing where we are today in the music industry and what it's going to take if you want to make it in this business. I want to talk about some of my production techniques, share some tips and tricks. I definitely want to share crazy stories about this business and talk about some of my personal experiences from the inside. I want to tell you about some of the people that supported me, helped me along my path, and maybe a few that went out of their way to make things tough. I really think you're going to find it very interesting and useful. So until the next time, cheers. And of course, please subscribe.